Female cop gets caught seducing inmates by Dr. Insanity. What's good? How your day going? How's your morning, your evening, your night, whenever you're watching this video? This intro, we are going to talk a little bit of ish because at this point, this is far too damn common within this field. The amount of stories I hear from my fellow CO, relatives, friends, whatever, dog, they always tell me these stories where it's like, yo, this female cop sleeping with this inmate is doing this inmate. It's like, why? This person could do nothing for you, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing that point because that's not my field. The only things I can think of is one of three things. Either A, yo, it's the rush. From what we hear, girls love to chase these bad boys, and I mean, you can't get much closer than one that's already locked up and stuck in a system. It's maybe just power, because a lot of people do just love having power. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it feels good sometimes. And the third one, which I just honestly believe it is, just horny, dog. But either way it go, about to check out the video. Hey, you wanna check out the original video? The link will be in the description below. But let's go.
This is Charlene O'Banion, a prison officer being accused of sleeping with an inmate.
You felt me, I was like soaking through my clothes.
After hearing rumors from other officers that had seen her and Jason Parker together, an investigation was opened up. Charlene thinks she flew under the radar and got away, but what she doesn't know is that the detectives have all the evidence they need, and they're about to expose and embarrass her in the most brutal way possible.
You got a lot of that head game. Oh my God.
Right from the start, Charlene plays innocent.
Head game. Oh my God.
Right from the start, Charlene plays innocent and pretends she doesn't know anything about the allegations.
We're notified of a possible improper relationship between you and Jacob Parker. So we're here for that, and I just kind of wanted to talk to you about it and get your side of that story.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Have you talked to him on any jail phone calls or anything like that?
No.
None at all?
Charlene is sure that this will
dig a deeper hole is what they're about to have you do. How do you work in the system and not know that these calls are recorded, man? This is so embarrassing. I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. And the head was fired. Let me go back a little bit.
Oh my God.
Right from the start, Charlene plays innocent and pretends she doesn't know anything about the allegations.
We're notified of a possible improper relationship between you and Jacob Parker. So we're here for that, and I just kind of wanted to talk to you about it and get your side of that story.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Have you talked to him on any jail phone calls or anything like that?
No.
None at all?
Charlene is sure that this will work, but the detectives have much more evidence than they're letting on.
And where would you think that this allegation would come from if there's nothing to it?
Well, I had a feeling this was coming. So there was an inmate named Coker, Justin Coker.
Okay.
He got out of here for, I don't know what period of time. And he tried to contact me on Facebook. He sent me a message and I blocked him on Facebook. And I guess one time Parker was going back to Bequat to use the bathroom, and he was talking like at the window with me. And I guess Coker like didn't like that, which I had no contact with him or anything. And Parker had told me that he had gone up to him and was like, don't talk to her or something crazy like that.
So I'm just not trying to be rude here. I'm just, Why would you expect this conversation to come up from that? Like now, if that happened a few months ago.
Charlene claims that the only time she's had contact with Jason was a single time outside the jail bathroom, and it was a jealous inmate that started the rumor. But the detective is about to share some evidence that instantly proves that Charlene is hiding something.
I don't know exactly how it started, like who it started from, but I was told that it was brought to somebody's attention, and then we looked at jail calls, and there's jail calls between you and Parker. And all that stuff's recorded. So I don't think you're completely truthful. I kind of know that you're not. And I'm not trying to be rude when I say that.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kind of trying to lay it out on and all that stuff's recorded. So I don't think you're being completely truthful. I kind of know that you're not. And I'm not trying to be rude when I say that.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kind of trying to lay it out on the table for you. So can you kind of tell me what's going on?
I guess a few years ago we talked, and then I ended up here, and then he ended up here. I didn't know he was here. I didn't, it wasn't anything like that.
Apparently, Charlene and Jason knew each other before prison and messed around before they both ended up here. This led to them joking around with each other here, but nothing else. Or at least, that's what she claims. In reality, the cops have recorded phone calls from inside the prison that tell a completely different story.
So what about some of these phone conversations?
No, not here or the phone. I thought you
No,
were
I just
talking
mean
about
conversations y'all are having on the phone.
No.
Since he's been in here.
Like sexual?
Well, I'm not saying having phone sex, talking about sexual acts.
That would be phone
From
sex.
what I'm listening to on the calls, I take it as that you've given him oral sex at some point, is what I gather from these calls.
No, that was like in the world, but we never dated. We just.
Okay. What kind of conversations have you had with him since you started working here and he's been in the jail?
Just talking about what would happen after he got out.
And then the jail call recordings, have you been talking to him like while you're at home? Like he calls you from the jail while you're at home, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just 15 minutes into this interrogation, Charlene's original story is seeming less and less like the truth. She's been caught in multiple lies, admitted to having sexual relations with Jason in the past, and calling him regularly from her own home. This is highly irregular behavior for a prison officer, and it doesn't take a genius to realize something deeper may be going on. But the detective has some more questions pertaining to some more physical evidence.
I haven't listened to this, but apparently there may be some talk in the calls about like photographs. Have you given him any photographs?
Mm-mm. I gave him a photograph of his mom, which he had asked for, and of his dog, Jax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you given him any photographs of you?
Mm-mm. No, because.
So one of the things we're going to be doing is...
Yo, this is scary as hell. Let me tell you why. Because with each piece of evidence, he is backing her into a damn corner. And she is trying her hardest to get out of it. But she don't know. Hey, we already know this stuff. We just want to see what you're going to tell us that we don't know to add on top of this. Or to just help verify what we got. Because I even learned early on in the channel as we started watching these interrogation videos. Even y'all told me, yo, it is best to shut the fuck up, rather right or wrong, because it is hard to get up out this shit, as you see. Because I take it from the way he's walking her into this one. Not saying she gave him to Parker, but Parker does already have some photos of her, huh? Ooh, boy. I feel bad and embarrassed for dog. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Talk in the calls about like photographs. Have you given him any photographs?
Mm-mm. I gave him a photograph.
Yeah, even that because it didn't sound solid. Because if I really didn't, hell no. Motherfucker better not have no pictures of me. Dick all swinging. Let me go back a little bit,
of
though.
his mom, which he had asked for, and of his dog, Jax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you given him any photographs of you?
Mm-mm. No, because.
So one of the things we're going to be doing is like looking at cameras and stuff too. Has there been any times where y'all were alone?
Mm-mm.
Or you go out of camera view or anything like that? Anything that's going to look suspicious that way?
I don't think so.
It's important to remember that Charlene has worked at this prison for a while now, and as such will know all the ins and outs of everything such as security camera blind spots and patrol officer schedules. You'd think that with all this knowledge now, and as such will know all the ins and outs of everything such as security camera blind spots and patrol officer schedules. You'd think that with all this knowledge, it'd be easy to hide a relationship with an inmate. But it seems that she forgot about a few vital pieces of information. Not least the facts that all phone calls placed from the prison are recorded. But thanks to the detectives, she's about to be reminded of this fact in a devastating way.
Hey, baby.
Go back.
Baby, guess what?
I ain't gonna lie, though. I don't care what you say on the outcome. I don't feel like you should go to jail for fucking an inmate. I do feel like you should definitely get fired. That should be on your record. You can't work this field ever again. I do feel like that. But it should not be no jail time to this. I mean, come on, bro. It's just pussy, dog. Especially if it wasn't grape or like heavy manipulation, which can low-key at some time can be great. But
prison are recorded. But thanks to the detectives, she's about to be reminded of this fact in a devastating way.
Hey, baby.
Go back.
Baby, guess what?
What, babe?
I just won the blackjack game.
Yay.
I just won $30.
I got a lot of stuff to clean and get rid of before you come home. I'm just kidding.
that was fucked up.
I was trying to make you think I have all these secret things.
Yeah, I bet you do.
What?
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 She said before
I don't know, you
come
probably
home.
got this weird sex swing hanging from the ceiling. Kenneth probably thinks it's a swing set.
Oh, if I had that sex swing, you better believe I'd leave that sucker up for you.
Would you really?
Hell yeah.
You'd let me put you in it?
Yeah.
With a gag ball and everything?
Yeah, babe.
Listening to your own voice can be bad enough for some people, but listening to your own sexual phone calls in silence with two detectives in the room as you realize you've just been caught red-handed has got to be worse than any prison sentence there is.
I'm telling you,
However,
I agree.
with the
That's
language they've
embarrassing.
used so far, any prison sentence there is. However, with the language they've used so far, there's no evidence that the pair have actually engaged in any sexual acts. But that changes quickly as Jason begins to directly incriminate Charlene on the call.
I just want you to look at me sometimes and be like, damn, my woman's fine.
Fine as wine.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a live ass fucking head game. Oh my god.
It wasn't my best moments. I was just trying to get it done.
Meh, meh. Are you in bed?
I'm like, hey, bro, turn this shit the fuck off there. Just go ahead and fire me. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, dudes. At least I know I do. We definitely suck when it comes to being romantic because I know we all know what she meant. Yeah, she want to be appreciated for her beauty, for who she is, the woman she is. You know, dudes, we don't see that shit. Only thing we try, like, we said, fine wine. I was like, well, that shit was so forced. And he took it right to the head because that's what we know. A lot of us, a good amount of us. I can't speak for everybody. For me, same way, dog. Like, I don't know how to do that shit, but I ain't gonna lie to that. The way you got the titties on my motherfucker. But either way, girl, let's get back to the video. That's wild, man. I get that.
It wasn't my best moments. I was just trying to get it done.
Meh, meh. Are you in bed?
Don't even get me thinking about that because it makes me so horny. Like, just going back and thinking about
Yeah.
that.
It gets you horny?
Oh, yeah. You felt me. I was, like, soaking through my clothes. Get very horny very easy. I always want to have
Not
sex.
good.
Like, that's not even...
Not good.
I'm very horny very easy. I always want to have
Not
sex.
good.
Like, that's not even...
Not good.
I mean, I feel like I just, like, look at someone, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so fucking horny. No, like, of course, like, I only get horny for you.
You can't see how that sounds from, like, my point of view. Like a more recent thing than 3 years ago. No?
The audacity she has to say no after hearing that phone call is truly remarkable. But to her credit, she's not going down easily. The detectives try asking her if she thinks Jason would cover for her, and she still doesn't break, sticking to her story that everything that happened outside of prison. Technically, this story could still be true with this phone call, but it definitely is odd for the couple to be recounting events from over 3
I ain't gonna lie though, it's definitely hard for me to be mad at this video, upset or anything. Definitely embarrassing. Highly agree with that. But the reason why I don't feel like, enraged, upset like how I do when I watch other true crime, because again, like I mentioned, this was in my eyes, bro. How I just look at it, it was just sex and it was willingly. I definitely embarrassing. I would put it high up on the list of embarrassing. But yeah, I just feel like it's definitely a fine type of situation. A fire, put that on your record. You ain't never gonna do this, blah, ever again. We talked about this, but just get your
break,
horny ass on out here.
sticking to
You
her
done.
story that everything that happened outside of prison. Technically, this story could still be true with this phone call, but it definitely is odd for the couple to be recounting events from over 3 years ago in such detail, especially when earlier she struggled to remember any details about their relationship.
You talk about how profound this was, like this giving him this blowjob was, but you like don't remember anything about it. It's like telling me something, but you're having trouble coming up with details about it. You know what I mean? Like if it's that
I
profound.
mean, I gave him a blowjob. How do you describe blowjob? I mean, is that
Well,
what
I'm
you
not
want
want
me
to know about the blowjob. I'm just
Yeah.
so if this is a
You just said
factual thing that happened 3 years ago, I feel like you would kind of remember some stuff about it. Like I
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
mean, like we said in the car,
like when I asked you who was there, him of course, like when y'all met or whatever, and then when I asked like who else, you said it was like a bunch of friends,
yeah.
but like you can remember one
I mean, I
chick's
was with
name
my
after
friend
you
Chris.
think about it for 30 seconds. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I was-
not making sense to me.
You seem to have blanks in your memory when we get to certain details.
but you remember being groped in the blowjob from 3 years ago. Find that hard to believe, okay? This is your one chance to be honest with us.
I'm not trying to take her side again. I'm not playing devil's advocate. Nigga, I remember some fire ass blowjobs from like 10 years ago. Some of them are memorable. I remember that shit. I still think about that bitch. All right, but let's get back to
blanks in your memory when we get to certain details, but you remember being groped in the blowjob from 3 years ago. Find that hard to believe, okay? This is your one chance to be honest with us.
Yeah.
Once we get up and walk out and we're done, we're done. Have y'all had any inappropriate contact, whether it's groping, blowjobs, vaginal, anal sex, anything?
I knew anal was coming. These niggas horny.
Blowjobs, vaginal, anal sex, anything, hand jobs. Yes, I am being vulgar to get a point across.
Yeah, no, it's not. None of that.
Just as the detectives say, things really aren't adding up. Yet she's still sticking to her story. Or at least she was, before a switch flipped and she said this.
And what is it?
I might have given him a blowjob in the back part of the
In back part of decoy? Okay. How long ago was that?
I don't know, a few months ago.
The secret's out, and Charlene has confessed. But this matter is more complex than it may seem. In cases of officer-inmate relations, the main question that arises is the issue of consent. Given that Jason and Charlene knew each other prior to being in prison, it's not wrong to assume that consent went both ways in this interaction. However, in these cases, that's actually completely irrelevant. According to a 2005 report, federal law criminalizes all sexual relations and contact between prison staff and inmates. And that
Which
all
makes sense,
sexual...
and I ain't gonna lie, that definitely sounds like one that you should not have to be told. I mean, let's be for real here. We're adults here. So don't get me wrong. Like I'm saying, yeah, she ain't do nothing wrong. I'm not saying that. Only thing I'm saying, I don't think it should be like high level shit where it's like, yeah, we're gonna put this up here as somebody who just freaking kidnapped someone and who just freaking, I don't know, a notorious serial killer. Basically some high levels. But it is effed up. It's definitely embarrassing. Definitely effed up. But yeah, you know these. I'm quite sure any damn sane adult knows, yo, once I get this job, I'm more than sure I can't be fucking people here. But she still should just get fired and fined, though. I ain't gonna lie.
went both ways in this interaction. However, in these cases, that's actually completely irrelevant. According to a 2005 report, federal law criminalizes all sexual relations and contact between prison staff and inmates, and that all sexual relations between staff and inmates are considered abuse, even if the act would have been considered consensual if it occurred outside of a prison. This is because of the huge amount of inmate abuse that was observed in prisons. In 1996, it was estimated that between 12 and 14% of all prison inmates had been sexually assaulted, and the officers were rarely punished. So to prevent this, a zero-tolerance policy was introduced to try and prevent abuse towards inmates. A policy, it seems, that Charlene completely ignored.
I'm gonna ask, but I feel like I know the answer. I'm losing my job.
So that's not really up to me. Internal Affairs is aware. Investigation is separate from
That job gone.
It's two totally different things. So
Yeah. What kind of charges would, like...
So it's illegal to have sexual contact with an inmate as an employee. So I said the ball kind of be in their court, but I'll let you know as soon as I hear something.
I mean, would I go to jail?
That's up to the DA's office.
As it turns
It
out,
is.
Charlene would lose her job, and the only time she'd ever be allowed back in jail would be for the 100 days that she'd be made to serve after being found guilty of sexual activity with a person in custody.
Well, at least the judge was cool enough to only throw out 100 days, and she knew that job was gone. You just kind of do that when you found in an effed up situation, so you try to make up something that's a little lower on the scale that'll seem higher to people, so they feel like, yeah, because in your head you want them to think, yeah, we're gonna take that, and now you're gonna really feel bad. That's all that was. Like, oh no, you're gonna take? Am I gonna lose my job? That's the last thing. You ain't trying to go to jail. You ain't worried about no motherfucking job. Ooh, you are gonna feel good though after the 100 days, and that's off your name. But that record is fucked. Hey, I'm out of here. Go ahead and enjoy your day, your morning, your evening, your night, whenever you're watching this video. But I'm out.